Welcome back to the Home Path Podcast. This is Raphael, and today we're going to talk about what no one is telling you about buying a home with a low credit score. Because if you didn't know it was possible, there's so many programs out there that you don't need to have perfect credit in order to get into a home. As a broker, I have access to multiple lenders who all have different guidelines. So if you're looking to purchase a home, one of the first things you can do is just pull out, it doesn't matter if it's a free app like Credit Karma or your banking app, is taking a look at your credit report. A lot of times I sit down with people and the first thing I ask them is, when was the last time you looked at your credit report? And sometimes it's years, sometimes it's months. And the reality is that's the first step. We have to take a look at your obligations. What are you paying right now in minimum payments on your car loan, on your credit cards? Because we need to get at least a good perspective of where you are at with your credit score. Now, granted, you have a lot of different credit reports. So, and a lot of people get this confused because back when I launched my credit consulting business, which I no longer have, but back in 2007, one of the misconceptions that people get is that they have one credit score, and you have a consumer credit score, an auto credit score, a mortgage credit report, and people don't know how this works. So if you went into a car dealership and pull your credit report, and then you went and sat down with someone to pull your credit in order to get a mortgage, and then you just went on your phone and pulled your own credit report, they are about the same as far as data, but the FICO score or FACO score, different scoring models, they're all going to give you something different, and it's all based on the risk that they're taking. So a consumer credit report, if you pull it yourself, there's really no risk. So you're going to get one particular type of credit scores because there's 3 credit bureaus. And then if you looked at your auto one, it's going to look different because the way that they weigh things like collections and other type of derogatory items are viewed differently. So you're going to have a different credit score. So if you spread all these out with a mortgage one in there, they're all going to give you different credit scores. Some of the data, for the most part, should be the same accounts, same balances, things like that. But the scores are going to vary. And this what throws off a lot of people is that just because they think that they looked at their Credit Karma report, they're going to go get a car loan and it's not the same, or they apply for a mortgage and it's not the same. So a lot of times it's a good point for you to at least get your bearings of where you are at, but it's not a true FICO score. So that's why it's always good to sit down with someone, and if you feel ready, then it's time to turn in your documents and start looking at the possibility of you purchasing a home. But you don't need to have a perfect credit score. A lot of times, all you need to do is just pay down your balances. A lot of you carry balances on your credit cards. Some of you can afford it, some of you can't, but there's some basic things that you can do to just boost your FICO score. And there's programs for getting pre-approved for a home as low as 500 credit score. And it goes up from there. The most standard one that you would like to at least get into is like a 640, 660, because now you're getting a more favorable rates. Your approval chances go up a little bit higher because now you're starting to show that you have some responsibility with the obligations that you have. I think the lowest score that we've funded was a 517 FICO for an FHA loan. And this was a lender who was able to get someone approved with a 517 FICO score. Granted, they had to put down 10% because they had to make up for the 517 FICO. So no, they didn't come in with a 3.5% standard. Granted, they were still able to get in, but they had to come in with a little bit higher down payment. And this is what is called compensating factors. So for those of you that have had some challenges with your credit report, remember this. If you're trying to get it pre-approved for a home, all they're trying to look at, and I'll do another episode on this, is called your ability to repay. They don't care about the house. They don't care what the finishings look like. They just want to get paid. So what is your ability to repay, and how does that look? So sometimes, for whatever reason in life, you had a situation, a circumstance where you ended up with a 517 FICO score. And now you have a good job. You've been there for over 2 years. You've paid your rent on time over 2 years. And now here comes the what's called compensating factors. Okay, maybe this individual doesn't have a great FICO score, but what is his or hers ability to repay? And sometimes just coming in with a 10% down payment shows that, hey, I've been responsible enough to save money. I've been at my job for over 2 years. I've stayed at the same location for over 2 years. I'm starting to show some responsibility. I just had some things in the past that are still hindering me. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to be able to get approved. It's just that a lot of times, you walk into your regular branch, wherever you bank, and they want squeaky clean credit. And that's understandable because those are their guidelines. And for the most part, when you go to your local branch, they want everything needs to be A plus. And it, forbid if you had any discrepancies or anything in the past, because no one's going to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So the reason why I love being a broker is because I have access to multiple banks and multiple programs and multiple guidelines depending on your situation. So think of it like wholesale, but like kind of like Costco, but for mortgages, because depending on the situation, you report taxes, you don't report taxes, you only deposit, and you need a bank statement loan, or you have a low FICO score, or everything is good. There's still better pricing out there than your traditional retail bank that will give you a home loan. So a lot of times I love being in this business because I'm able to help people that don't know that there's other options out there for them. Like this individual that I was able to help with a 517 FICO score. He did have the savings, which was good. He was showing his ability to repay. And till this day, as far as I know, he's still in the same home with the same home loan. So I am so happy for him and his family that he was able to accomplish this, because he didn't know that just, he was doing all the right things. He got back on the horse. He had a great job, paying his rent on time, saved up money, but his credit score was still low. But guess what? There was still a possibility because he was determined to make that possible for his family. So if you didn't know that existed, definitely reach out to either a wholesale broker or ourselves. Make sure you just go to CaliforniaHomePath.com and set an appointment, or reach out to us, fill out a form, and let us know where you're at. Or just take a look at your own credit score and see where you're at with your credit score and what is your ability to repay. Maybe you just started a job, and that, because you have great credit doesn't mean that they're going to give you a loan, because they still need the ability to repay. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you get a cosigner with more great credit. This is another misconception that I see, is that you try and get two people with great credit but no job history, and that's great that you've been able to maintain your minimum payments on your credit cards, but the mortgage could be $3,500, and that needs to come from somewhere. So it doesn't matter how many cosigners you get, you still need to show your ability to repay. And as soon as you learn that, you're going to get a little bit further ahead as like, how do you make this possible in 2025, is that you first take a look at your credit report. Even if it's less than perfect, that's okay. There may be things that we can guide you on, things that you can do yourself in order for you to boost your score a little bit higher. And it does help. Every bit helps. One of the hacks that I like is if you do have a Experian.com account, what they have a program that's called Boost. And Boost is that you can connect all of your credit card payments. Well, it already factors that, but any utilities or anything that you normally pay that is not listed on your credit report. And the way that it does this is that you connect your bank account to it. And I've done this myself. So once you collect your bank account, they say, hey, you know what? You've been paying your cell phone bill consecutively for the last 3 months, and your home internet. And what happens is that they'll add all of those into your credit report. Just Experian, it doesn't work for the other bureaus. And they'll say, you know what? Potentially we can add 16 points to your credit report. Do you want to do this? And it's a great service. I've used it in the past, and sometimes it just does what it needs to, right? Because it's kind of a Band-Aid. It's not something forever, and I don't always recommend this, but when you just need enough points to get maybe into the next bracket, it's a good service that you could use. So hopefully that helped. And my question for you is, when was the last time you looked at your credit report? And if you think it's ugly, if you think it smells, the first thing I can tell you is that nothing's going to save you. You have to open it up, look at it. It doesn't matter what the number is because you can always go up. The first thing you need to know is get on the ground zero and figure out what is it that you need to do to boost it, or prepare yourself to purchase your home. And if you have any questions, you could always go to CaliforniaHomepath.com and check us out there. And we'll see you on the next episode.